first ever live stream, vertical live. If you were a member of the channel, subscriber to the channel, you would have not been seeing content for a while. I did a video on just how I was not really into golf for a bit, got a job, got divorced, life kind of just getting in the way of golfing and my enjoyment of golfing. In the basement of the place where I work, we've got a fantastic facility, tee box, with several TrackMan bays, Zen tour stage, good instruction, there's some fitting in there, all sorts of things. Mike Clark works in there as a putting coach. We'll talk a little bit more about Mike in a minute and putting. But yeah, so my friend Stu Cartwright from Good Golf Coaching, you should check him out. He gave me a shout out this morning, repaying the favour, not that he needs it. He's got tens of thousands of subscribers, growing all the time. His coaching content is fantastic, and with his new where he's going to be doing monthly videos where he's preparing for seniors Q school, which is going to be a fantastic journey. So for those of you that don't know me, I'm a single figure handicapper. Been around seven or eight for quite a while. Want to get lower than that, feel that I've got the ability to get lower if I practice the right things and just focus on the game properly and don't overthink it. I've, since meeting Stu, at least have been a decent ball striker. Got called a flusher yesterday, which is maybe overstating it, but yeah, I feel like I've got a fairly decent all-round game and just need to kind of just deliver it, really, not overcomplicate it, not get in my own way. So this weekend, I practiced quite a bit last week. Had some TrackMan stuff, played what was the course? Some really monstrously difficult course in the States on TrackMan, and didn't do particularly well. But in all, I felt pretty solid about my game, felt really confident. So on Saturday, we had an East Kent League match. So I play for Littlestone B team, Littlestone Golf Club down on the southeast coast of the UK. We're like the forgotten sibling along that stretch of coast, where we've got Prince's, Royal Cinque Ports, Royal St George's, and then you go a little bit further around and you get to us via the Hive Imperial Hotel course, which is you might see if you ever go down that way. So we had a match at Westgate and Birchington, which we often joke is 3 courses in one, Westgate and Birchington, with And being the best course. It's a really interesting little golf course near Margate. It is basically three courses in one, really. Like 3 pieces of land, 3 separate golf courses, and you have to walk down the road to get from one part to the other. You start off in like a kind of quite enclosed field. It feels like a park, like like if you just went to a park in the town. That's kind of the feeling you get. Very enclosed, a few holes there. And then you walk down the road and there's some holes along the sea that take you down to the sea. And then you head back up. There's a small field. It feels like a playing field, but very enclosed. You at no time do you feel like you're not on a golf course, with 3 par 3s, 2 of which are really really good. The shortest of them is like a cracking golf hole, really quite difficult. And then I think you've got 2 more holes when you get back to that main field, finishing up by the clubhouse. It's never like it's short. It's I don't know what the par is, like 60 something, 5,000 odd yards. Never the best condition, but always, like a good amount of fun. It's not the sort of place where I'd want to play every week. I don't think it tests all aspects of your game, and I'm sure the guys that play there will admit that they are basically hitting driver and wedge everywhere, and that's that's what it is. But great bunch of guys, super, like you can imagine that it's like really sociable. The food's good. Sadly, the condition for our match was not so good, because they punched the greens shortly before we'd come. It must have been the day before, and they were, I mean, just as bad as any greens I'd ever seen. That we just got bad luck with the timing. September is kind of late for the matches. Stu, hi Stu. I think I started early rather than you tuning in late, mate. But the name is Westgate and Birchington. That's the name of the course. So yeah, we didn't get a lot of luck with the condition of the greens. Everything else was good. Nice lush fairways. There's plenty of grass everywhere. But as I said, the guys were apologising. It's not their fault, and it was the same for everyone. So I said to my playing partner Gary, I said early on, if we're going to start giving putts, we might be giving like pretty big ones, because it really looked like it was going to be a lottery. They didn't give me like a 2-footer, which I actually missed. So we just basically weren't giving anything, and there was no nastiness. It was just like we were laughing about the greens. I chipped in like on the 4th hole or something like that, and just like figured that was the way of doing it. Just like ram it, either chip in or ram it at the hole, and I had a couple of those. So yeah, we won that narrowly. Actually, we won one up. We were nearly 5 up at one point. So one of the guys we played with suddenly started making a lot of putts and found his game, and was absolutely booming his drives. I mean, I was swinging out my shoes at times, because it's wide, like you can miss quite wide and not have any problem. So I was hitting the ball as hard as I could, and he was a considerable way past me. So not that I'm the biggest hitter in the world, but yeah, so it was good fun. I did get bitten by a tick, which has caused my leg to swell up a little bit, caused me a bit of pain on Sunday. And on Sunday, I played in the Ashford Kent Cup at Ashford in Kent. Never played there before. I'd spoken to a few guys I know. A good friend of mine, Neil, was a member there for a long time. He's a member at Littlestone now. Everyone said to me, it's tight, small greens, you're not going to be hitting driver much. When I got there, the place just looked unreal. It just looked so good. Got on the putting green to practice. You could see it was rapid. It looked like a pool table, but it felt quite soft underfoot. So I figured it wouldn't be too bad. But yeah, the first time I touched the ball on the putting green, you could tell they were super fast. Littlestone's greens have been, I would say, slow. Certainly slow for Littlestone. Historically, we've had the greens pretty quick through the summers, and that's not been the case this year. Don't know why. Again, it's the same for everyone. When they have got them quick, they've been absolutely pristine. So I presume that they're looking after it, keeping a bit of grass on, and yeah, just trying to, I guess, make the course enjoyable. Because when I first joined there, the greens were rock hard. It was like it was like if you dropped your putter, it sounded like you were on a snooker table, and that's the kind of feel they had. And they just rolled and rolled and rolled, but they were very true. But I think that costs a lot of money. I think that it's a lot of staff to continually roll and continually cut. So anyway, I felt like I'd got the speed in those situations. I know that the differential between uphill and downhill really, is a big difference, but I felt like I'd got dialed in. Did some chipping. Their practice chipping green is pretty sloped, and I was like, if I'm above the hole, I'm not entirely sure what I'm doing, what I can do. I was just basically landing in the fringe, and they were rolling like a long way, even with an open faced lob wedge, which is not really something I do around the greens. I usually prefer a squarer face and just get it checking up a little bit. But yeah, so I wouldn't say I was scared about it. I just thought, we'll get out there. It's going to be difficult, and that'll be that. I was, however, absolutely terrified on the first tee. It looked pretty tight. Not quite as bad as I thought. The guys I were with were really nice. James and Shane, top guys, and they kind of helped me around the whole way, just telling me where I could miss. They're both members at Ashford. So I didn't take driver on the first. There was a pond. It was quite a way down, but just with it in your mind. And I've been hitting this fade. Didn't want any part of that fade. Hit an awful 5-wood, but my round was up and running. The greens were unreal. Oh yeah, and so I said, to the guys as we were walking down, that was a nervy one, and they were both like, yeah, we're both absolutely terrified too. And they're members at the course, and we're just, they're feeling the pressure. And I kind of like, that's kind of the point in doing these opens and playing at different courses is I want to test myself just doing the same track over and over again, even though conditions, especially at a links course, wind gets up, different directions of wind, different green speeds. It makes it a different prospect, but I just want to go other places. I want to play as much golf as possible, meet as many people as possible, and just have a good time. Like that's all I'm about now, is how can I have the most fun in life? And like as Stu said to me today, a lot of that revolves around doing things with people, because I went camping on my own and I was utterly bored of my own company within, 24 hours. So yeah, we got off and running. And then within a couple of holes, like we all fell foul to the speed of the greens. I've played on fast greens. These greens were something else. They were, if you were above the hole, unless you hit the hole, you were going past by a long way. And chipping from above the hole, you're off the other end basically. I didn't know what to do about it, and I was relaxed. I'm like on some putts I was aiming, so I had a 20-foot putt and I'm aiming to hit it 3 foot, and it would still roll 6 foot past. It was just crazy. Stu Dust asked, "Am I going to film on the course?" Yes, I am. I thought about filming some stuff this weekend, but with it being such a already outside of my comfort zone, matches, I don't want to mess with that. That's like, people are relying on me. The team kind of aspect of it is I take that really seriously, much more seriously than anything else, and I want to play my absolute best for the guys. And then things like, I don't want to get in anyone's way basically. So I've done some on-course stuff before. I've got a rig that I'm putting on my trolley that hopefully I'll be able to do some stuff like practice rounds around Littlestone, get used to doing it, and then get some on-course content. And ultimately, like the ultimate aim of this channel is I'd like to just document my journey of what I'm trying to do, and what I'm trying to do is get down to kind of close to scratch or around there, because I want to play. I'm 51 in a couple of weeks. I want to start playing in seniors amateur events around the world. and I'd love, by the time I get to 55, which is like the UK seniors thing, I'd love to be able to play in some big UK seniors events. Kent, try and make the Kent squad, that sort of thing. Just kind of like see how good I can get in the time that's allotted to me. I didn't take up golf until I was in my 30s. Late starter, wasn't part of my socio-economic circle. I didn't even really know that golf existed when I was a kid. So yeah. Yes, Stu, it is hard doing the on-course content. You and I have done a little bit of that with your drone, and I'm looking forward to seeing your on-course content too. Hopefully we can do some together. That would be good. So yeah, back to the putting. So I have a couple of putters. So I've been using this Odyssey blade. It's a DFX1, I think. Yeah, DFX1. It's like the cheapest Odyssey putter you can get. I really like it because it's black, and it's basically like an answer, or like an answer 2, I guess. But it hasn't got a flange sight line. It's got a sight line on the top, and it's like the only one you can find that's like that, unless you go Scotty Cameron 009, pay like 12 grand for one of those from a Tour Pro, or get a custom one made. And I would love to get a custom the Josie putter, which I might do at some point. They're not too expensive. I've got a Superstroke Tour 2 on it, which actually I found towards the end of the second round yesterday was starting to feel a bit thick in my hand. Like my hand was getting a bit cramped. Might not have drunk enough water. It was starting to feel a bit cramped. But anyway, I switched to this putter the last time I had trouble with fast greens, which was our club champs at Littlestone, where we'd gone from playing on slow greens all year, no idea what they stimped at, but not quick by anyone's standards. And suddenly the next day they were rapid, and I just could not deal with it. I'd shot like a pretty low round, I think on the Tuesday or the Thursday of that week, and it just made me look like I'd never putted before. And I think that putting certainly within like 15 feet is something I'm pretty good at. Like objectively, just I'm okay. I practice that a lot. I practice start line a lot, and I practice distance control, and I just feel very comfortable in that range normally. And even on kind of like quickish greens, the fast end of a club, like a normal thing, which I'm guessing is like around 10, like what we'd all say, oh yeah, those greens are pretty quick. I'm pretty good up to that speed. These were way faster than that, at least yesterday. So I switched from this is a slightly long story that I'll cut short, but this is a Scotty Cameron Phantom 7.5, which is basically an Odyssey 7 copy with like the flow neck or the slant neck, I guess, if in Odyssey speak or TaylorMade speak. Now I got fitted for this. It's just got the regular Scotty Cameron Pistolero, I guess. I got fitted by Mike Clark, who now works at T-Box, who was at Precision Golf at the time, and he fitted me for an Odyssey. We talked about the specs and everything and went through the whole thing, and he was like, yeah, I was using a Ping Answer, 1985 Ping Answer at the time, which is, I'll do a story about that at some point. That's not for today. But he was like, you're putting well with the Answer, but you could do with something else going on with the face rather than just a smooth face, and really benefit from the straight alignment that this gives. So yeah, fitted me into an Odyssey, and I was like, putted just better immediately in the studio, and stopped at Silvermere on the way home, saw the Scotty Cameron version and just bought it, which is, I paid for my fitting, so I don't feel feel bad. I haven't stolen any money off anyone. But yeah, it's and I've been all year putting really, really well with it, and honestly, it felt like a magic wand. Just for some reason, just that first day of our club champs did me in. Did we have 2 rounds? Yeah, yes, 2 day event. The first day did me in with the greens, and I just thought I'm changing putter because I didn't want to fall out of love with that putter and blame, psychologically blame the putter in any way. So I switched to the Odyssey, and I haven't taken it out of the bag since because I have been putting really well with it. I'm probably going to put this one back in after a bit of practice this week. So I ended up shooting, didn't break 90 for either round. And the thing is, it just became funny really rapidly. I was just like, this is just the way it is, and I kept on trying as hard as I could, but just couldn't get it. Tony Wade has joined, JQFRC. Hi, Tony. Yeah, the putter does look tech. It is. It's a nice bit of technology. So yeah, one highlight on one hole. So there's trees everywhere at Ashford Golf Club, and Ashford Golf Club, by the way, is so good that I am thinking about taking out a second club membership because the greens were brilliant, and they said, they get them that pure every week, every Sunday for the comp. Our comps are usually on Saturdays. It'll give me an option to play some different golf from links golf, get me used to Parkland golf, give me some, faster green practice throughout the year, and I think it will just be enjoyable. Everyone there was like super nice. The 2 guys I played with, James and Shane, top fellas. I ended up staying for hours afterwards and just hanging out and talking shit. Really, probably shouldn't swear on YouTube. So this week I've got. This month is a super busy month. I kind of had a flurry of entries and a flurry of things that were working out. So this week I've got the Oscar Ashe Cups at Rochester and Carbon Park Golf Club, which some of you might know is a regional open qualifying venue. There's an open qualifying video of mine from a couple of years ago where a friend of mine was playing in it. Did a video about that. It's worth a watch. It was brutal. The rough there was unreal. The greens looked really rapid. I'm hoping they don't set it up quite as tough for us. So the Oscar Ashe Cups is for 1.6 to 10.6 handicap for Kent players. I think there's like 75, 80 people in the field, 36 holes, and I think there's a scratch in the net. So I'm in that decent tee time, 9:46. It's an hour's drive. Looking forward to it. The Scotty might be back in the bag. And then on Saturday, we've got an East Kent League away game at Ashford Golf Club. So total coincidence that their open that I'd entered was the week before we play there, but it's definitely going to stand me in good stead. A couple of our guys are going to go and play a practice round on the Friday, which I would have done, but playing 36 on Thursday, then a round on Friday, and then a round on Saturday, I think might be a bit too much for me, and I'd like to have a bit of rest. I'm absolutely wiped out today after playing 36 yesterday. With that tick bite, my leg was throbbing last night. It's not infected, but it's swollen and not ideal. So hopefully get on the TrackMan for a bit. Maybe see if I can get onto the Zen putting stage, the one that moves around, and see how I can get on. So quite exciting. 36 holes is a young man's game, Stu. Now, interestingly, when we play matches at Littlestone, if it's an afternoon tea time, I'll quite often go out and play in the comp in the morning. And with Littlestone being pretty flat, and a club Stableford is just like no stress. I feel like I get warmed up and sit down, have a fry up for lunch, and feel pretty good. But when you're actually grinding and quite a hilly course and hitting so many shots as well, like 180 shots, it's I definitely felt it, and got up to travel to London today and battle with a tube strike and all of that stuff. Oh, so the highlight of Ashford, I hit a pretty decent tee shot. I was blocked out by a massive oak tree. At 202 yards front, and I was like, what can I get over this tree? I thought about all the possibilities. I figured I could get an 8-iron over the tree. I didn't really fancy trying to bend one round. It would have had to be like a really big cut, and I don't practice like extreme cuts or anything, but I do practice high shots. So I just kind of smashed it as high as I could, and it went over by like quite some margin. It was a par 5, so I was only trying to get up somewhere to give me a wedge in. And when we got up there, it actually made front edge. I carry 8-iron 144, and this thing had gone like, well, it ended up total like 206. I have no idea whether it hit a sprinkler or something, but yeah, there's no way I hit it that far. Left me like a 30 odd foot putt, which I can for an eagle, and yeah, that's, you know, I took something out of it. Good camaraderie, good companionship, great banter, and an eagle. What more can you ask for? JQFRC Tony has subscribed to support me. Thank you, mate. Much appreciated. I was on 333, so now I'm on 334. Right, that's 27 minutes of waffle. I was trying to keep it to half hour. It's worked out perfectly. They're the end of my stories. Thanks for tuning in. Really appreciate it. I'm trying to grow the channel. Making content's tough. I enjoy it. I like thinking about it, probably more than doing it a lot of times, like the planning. Stu, you know, was taking the mickey out of me for all my planning today. But yeah, really enjoy it. And actually, these lives probably suit me a little bit better than the long form stuff. Stu has one question before I go. Go on, you've got a couple of minutes, mate. Shoot. While he's writing the question, yeah, I think these live formats suit me. I enjoy just talking about it. I've started a journal. I write out a lot of this stuff. Write out my thoughts on the putter, things that I find on the TrackMan. So I'm, you know, trying out different things. Not really messing about, but just like sometimes like a feel or click, and I'm just like, oh, that feels, you know, good for me now. So Stu's question: what is it that golf gives you? Well, so that's an interesting one. In a book I read a while back, it was like you really have to find out what your why is, and I couldn't do it. I just didn't know why I played golf. And then with all the stuff that was going on in my life, with getting divorced and kind of like choosing what to do with my life, I tried loads of different things. You know, I'm into all sorts of things. I'm into radio control cars, music, play the bass, rock climbing, hiking. I do all sorts of stuff, and I'd kind of taken my foot off the gas with golf. Did all these other things, and then started thinking about maybe not rejoining Little Stone. And when I really thought about that made me feel bad. And the camaraderie, playing in the B team, that social aspect is really good for me. I play golf most Tuesday mornings with my friend Neil, and that time together with just another human just talking nonsense whilst playing the game is a big part of it. I think the social side is really big. I'm a bit of a striver. I'm a bit of a obsessive character. You know, a bit of ADHD in there. and the having something to focus on that isn't just like with other sports like running or cycling, like basically what you put in is what you get out, and it's like a pretty uninteresting formula. If I do like a 20-hour training week, in 2 weeks' time, I'm going to be a faster cyclist. And if you do it right, you know, with periodization, it's all well documented. Golf is not like that. You can work your ass off and just get worse. And that really attracts me to it. So the challenge aspect of it, the feeling of striving to excel at something, even if I'm, you know, never going to excel, just, you know, making an eagle on one hole, making, you know, I can make a couple of 3 birdies around and think to myself, well, you know, all you've got to do is par the other holes and you've cracked it for one round. So yeah, there's so much to it, and I don't think I've really got to the bottom of what it gives me. I think that's some of it. Entering these competitions, testing myself, using it as a means of what's the word? Using it as a catalyst for travel, a reason to go to different places, meet new people. I've never really been into travel for travel's sake. So yeah, this is it. Thanks, Stu. Yeah, I mean, it's like I'm proud of you for what you're doing, and you obviously, you know, you're the inspiration for me doing these things. You're the inspiration for me playing a lot of golf. To be honest, your videos are the reason that I play well. Everyone go and check out Good Golf Coaching. But yeah, it's like knowing that I can play par golf, you know, and it's there, and I know that I can get down to, you know, I can definitely get below 5 without a lot of stress. But just having a dream, having something to strive for is, I think golf's a lot of things to a lot of people, and it's a lot of things to me. So yeah, great question, man. And I appreciate you guys tuning in. It is hard talking to a phone in a room, and I'm absolutely boiling. I've got a really nice studio. Like, I've got another YouTube channel as well that I'm not going to plug on here, but yeah, I'm just basically sitting in my dark studio with this bright light on me, sweating in a sweatshirt, and it's about 25 degrees. So anyway, thanks for tuning in. Check out the rest of my content. There's loads more to come, and I'll see you next Monday. Cheers.